There are more seats if people want to sit down on that side. Sorry about the venue being small. Can I just check with the media? I know that you often want to be in the right space, so are you guys all ready? Thank you very much for taking the time to come and meet with us today. I know that you had requested the chairperson of the commission to meet with you, but unfortunately he was not available. So he's asked me as the CEO of the Human Rights Commission to meet with you and to listen to the complaint that you'd like to present to the commission. With me on my left is Eriko Kanyama, who is the head of legal services, and he will join me today, and Zina Ney, who is the head of our Gauteng provincial office. So over to you and welcome again to the commission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wayne. We really appreciate it that you receive us here, and thank you for the arrangements you've made. We really appreciate it, and thank you for your time so late on a Friday afternoon. So, unfortunately, some of us had to come a long way, and therefore we had no choice but to arrange it for the afternoon. I'm going to hand over to you the charge sheet, the complaint comes from the Boer Nation, and we from the Geloftevolk Republikeine, the Now People Republicans, are handing it over to you on behalf of the Boer Nation. There are 4 charges that we included in this charge sheet. The first one is a charge against Mr. Jacob Zuma, the state president of South Africa, for instigating the ongoing murder of the Boer people in South Africa by singing the forbidden song of Kill the Boer. This happened on the 11th of January, and I also direct you to the internet inserts where you can find the link of this allegation. The second charge is against the Minister of Police, as well as the Commissioner of Police and the Provincial Police Commissioner of Northwest, as well as the Station Commander of the Ventersdorp Police Station, and the officers who were on duty at the time of the Jean de Blanche murder case. We visited this venue, and during our visit we saw the black protesters there showing posters with the words on it, Die Boere word gebliksem. We had a few photos taken there. I attached it for you. You will also see that you will find other hate speech there. Al die boere word gebliksem. Rest in hell boere mense, die boere lyk soos 'n vark. and I don't think this is going to contribute towards any better relationships between the different nations that we find in South Africa. The third charge is against the ANC government, and it deals with the fact that the commando units, the military commando units, that was removed and dissolved by the ANC government, with the promise that substituting military forces or police forces would take over the function of these commandos. This never happened, and this left the farmers on the farms unprotected. And ever since, we had more than 3,000 people of the Boer Nation who was killed, and since the beginning of January this year, more than 30 Boer people, farmers, were killed by blacks on the farms. We are at an average of more than 15 per month at this point in time, and this is a very, very serious issue. We really want to point out to you that this issue can lead to much conflict. We have to get a solution for this, but in the meantime, the people who caused this hazardous and this dangerous situation, namely the ANC government, will have to stand in and take responsibility for what has happened, and we would also appreciate it if they come forward with a solution earlier than later. We visited the Minister of Police, Mr. Nathi Ntetwa, on the 12th of April 2010. My colleague here, Mr. Johan Potgieter, was with me, and we also had another representative at that time when Mr. Nathi Ntetwa invited us to his office. At that meeting, Mr. Ntetwa promised the delegation that special forces will be employed to protect the farmers. This was a few days after the murder of Mr. Eugene de Blanche, and he was our hero. He still is our hero, and in future he will remain our hero. The fourth charge deals with the youth of the Boer people, which is discriminated against. We can't take that any longer. These people were young, they were infants at the time when the ANC came into power. We lay a charge against the ANC government for discriminating against them because they are banned from employment in the government sector as well as in the private sector, and the only wrong they have done was to be born with a white skin, and we feel that this issue should be addressed now for having or for preventing this government to have the same label as it was the case with the apartheid regime. This is all for the charges, and I hand over the charge now to you. Now,